Welcome to Sun and Star Farm. I'm going to do a quick walkthrough of the progression of the side flower garden. It's next to my livestock area. There's some things that I've added, some things that I'm leaving right now until I figure out what they are. I'm not sure if this is a watermelon that's coming up. I fed the poultry a lot of things this past year. Tomatoes, watermelons, things from the garden. So things pop up on their own and I leave them to make sure, but I'm leaving this temporarily to see if it's a watermelon plant. So we have that. I just added some plants also that I got from Walmart of all places. I got it's called a barley blue agapanthus. It'll get about 2 feet tall and it has trumpet. Rude. I am trying to do a video. It's not all about you, dude. Just because you can't get me doesn't mean you have to be rude. Rude. So this is a barley blue agapanthus that I just planted yesterday. I'm gonna move these stepping stones around, I think. I haven't decided yet. I planted a bunch of different types of salvias and sages. Some are mounding, some are more of what you would find at the garden center. I've started these all from seeds, so I'm waiting for them to get big enough to start blooming. So this is some salvia. I have blues and pinks. I have the variety written on their cards, but I'm not going to go through that today because this has got to be quick. That's what I was talking about, random things that come up. Right there, that's a random tomato. This was a white rose bush. It was a tea rose, one of these little tiny ones that I planted 2 years ago. And unfortunately, the freeze killed it, but I'm leaving it because I've had roses come back from the roots and I want to see if it will. I am going to trim the branches down lower and I'm just going to leave it and see what happens. I have a rose that started that way in my vegetable garden. This is a hibiscus, some more sage or salvia. They're both the same. It's just starting to form some blue heads. This first year, they're not going to be big and moundy. Next year, they'll be much larger. I find that the first year, planting from seed, they're not as extravagant. This is a vitex or a chaste tree. They can get 20 feet wide and 20 feet tall. They have a flower that resembles a lilac. They're just starting to get some of their little flower heads. So I'm excited. This is year 2 for this bush. I thought I had lost it to the freeze and it came back with a vengeance, as you can see. They're very fast growing and they're deer tolerant. So I did buy 2 and plant them in the front of my fence. In the front, I want to eventually have a living fence all the way around my pen. More salvia, and then Texas bluebonnets. They don't bloom the first year, so I'll just have plants this year, and then next year I will start getting bluebonnets, and then I'm going to let them spread. Another vitex, more salvia, and then I've got blue queen in the front. And this is a crepe myrtle. This is the riot red bushing variety of honeysuckle. You can see it's starting to get some blooms on it. The hummingbirds love it. Since this is the first year of me rebuilding after the horrible drought, I'm doing more of a potager type garden. So I have planted some vegetables out here. This is, which one is this? This is a zucchini. This is a straight neck, early prolific zucchini. And then I have a yellow zucchini planted here, and then another zucchini planted there, which I've got 6 of that zucchini, 4 of this one, and I've got 6 of that, so a lot of zucchini. And then at the base of my bird chime, and I'll have a hummingbird feeder out here soon, I have a purple climbing hyacinth bean that will climb up this, and the hummingbirds will just go bananas for it. I don't have anything really planted over here yet. My fire bush is coming back. It's a firefly bush. Absolutely love it. It comes back from the ground, but it grows super fast. Last year it was shoulder high, so about 5 foot tall, and it gets big and bushy, and it has beautiful tubular orange flowers. And then the foliage is really pretty because it's green and red. So it's a really pretty bush. And then this is one of, got little flowers going here. This is one of the trees my neighbor gave me. It's an apricot. By the looks of it, it's sending up a shoot from the bottom. I may try to separate that out and pot it up to see if I can get a second one. This one may not produce fruit for me, but it is a pretty tree. It requires a certain number of chill hours, and I don't think we get enough chill hours for it to produce fruit, but it'll provide a nice, pretty shaped shade tree. And the flowers are pretty. When they were out earlier this spring, the flowers were pretty. They're kind of a pinky color, but they're pretty much at the end. So, of course, the pigs and the goats are over here. And then I thought for sure that I had a whole shade garden planted under here before the drought last year. The year before it got flooded out. I had hydrangea back here, flooded out, drowned all my hydrangea. Last year we had drought, and it killed all of my hostas, and I had a whole bunch of calla lilies planted back here. Killed all of them, or so I thought. I happened to notice this the other day coming out of the ground. It's got quite a few shoots. So it's just a random calla lily that's coming up that I thought was dead. I want to get some more plants to put back in this shaded area, but this year I'm doing some vine crops. I'm gonna trim some of this bush back. Some of these branches, you can see that it's leaning, and it's just a matter of time before it falls. So I'm going to have my husband cut some of these lower branches down. I want to leave it because it does provide a nice little shaded area for maybe a bench. We'll work on it. It's also a low area, so unfortunately when it rains it does flood over here, so I need to build the dirt up. You can see the nasty fence back there. So I want to plant some things. I'm going to do some trellising back here and trellis up maybe some morning glories to hide this fence back here. It's fallen apart. It needs to be replaced. The ducks damaged the bottom of it tremendously. The wind broke a piece of it, fell over. We have it held up with T-posts. It is something that needs to be replaced, but it's very expensive right now to fix a whole entire, because this fence goes from the end of my property all the way through my backyard to the corner of my property, and then wraps up front. And then the previous owners put up this privacy fence here. It's just, it's an eyesore. It needs to be replaced, but it takes money, and that's not something I have right now. So I'm limping through until I can afford to replace it. This, I looked it up to see what it was, and the Plant Finder app says this is a passion fruit vine, a wild passion fruit vine called a maypop. So I put a stake in the ground to stand it up. I'm kind of curious to see if that's what it really is. So I'm leaving it. I love native plants, so I'm really hoping it is. Like I said, I'm going to build a trellis back here. Not that it will be touching the fence. I'll have some space away from the fence. But I'm going to let that grow and see if that's really what it is. If so, the fruit is actually edible on this. So I'm curious to see if I've got this wild maypop growing or if it ends up being something else. Either way, the leaf structure is real pretty. And then I have 6 jack-o'-lantern pumpkins planted here. I figured it will sprawl out. It'll cover a lot of this ground that I'm not going to get planted up this year. I can keep it pushed back away from my flowers. That's why it's not in the main flower garden area, but it'll be back here. So that way I can get some pumpkins because of the pig. Well, all of my animals will eat pumpkin, including my dogs. So I thought it'd be fun to grow some pumpkins back here. I've got a nice sunny area. I'm going to come back here and plant some sunflowers and do some, maybe a succession of maybe some decorative corn or something back here. It's in the works. I got 2 new rose bushes. This is a true, I got them from True Blooms. I've loved their roses. The one in the corner, I'm sure you've seen the videos of, has these real pretty yellow roses with like a bright pink tinge to the tips. It's absolutely beautiful. I love it. It is doing fantastic. It needs to, I need to deadhead it and for the new blooms to come. But, so got this one. It is a really pretty pink. It's called True Gratitude. It is a true bloom rose. It's supposed to get 6 feet tall and 3 to 4 feet wide. The floral fragrance is strong and spicy. It smells absolutely amazing. I love it. I think I may go back and see if I can find another one like this because I can actually smell the rose on this. My sense of smell is kind of shot because I had COVID a couple years ago and it never came back right. But this one I can smell and it's real strong and spicy and sweet and I love it. And I love the color of the blooms. I mean, they're just beautiful. They're bright and vibrant. More of the grape hyacinths are planted here. Or grape hyacinths, the hyacinth beans, the purple hyacinth beans. I've got 4 planted on the trellis to grow up. I also have some English ivy that I had for a couple of years that I planted over here, and they're starting to grow leaves. So that way this trellis will be covered with leaves and flowers. It'll be real pretty, a nice little shady area to walk through. That is another honeysuckle bush. It's orange. I don't think it survived the freeze. I'm leaving it there just to see if it comes back. This is another true bloom rose. This one is True Passion. It has an orangey red bloom. I mean, the bushes just look so healthy. This one gets about 5 feet tall and about 3 feet wide. So I figured that would be really pretty to frame the walkway. Because I'm going to have a walkway that goes through up to the goat pen. And then I want to have a sitting area over here somewhere in the shade. I just need to trim up this. So that is my plan. Then I have some passion fruit vine planted on, and they're starting to climb. That's fantastic. These are both passion fruits. My neighbor gave me these as well. They have really pretty purple flowers and the fruit is supposed to be delicious. So I am growing that, and in the center again it was another orange riot honeysuckle bush. I'm going to see if it comes back. I haven't seen any signs. I don't think so. I do think I lost them. So if I did, I will just dig them out and leave this for vining purposes, and I might plant something else here, maybe a rose or something, just forward of it, so that way it doesn't impede with the trellis and the flowers growing on the trellis. Maybe a white rose, something that will be bright and poppy. This is and I know I'm going to say it wrong, an IROX that I got from Walmart. See, I need to redo my bricks. The ducks moved all of those when they were in here. It's got a yellow, orangey, pink, kind of pink flush in the center flower. This will get up to 6 feet in a season and then will die back to the ground, kind of like my fire bush over there. We'll see if it survives here. I will have to cover it for winter, but we'll see. And then I love this hibiscus. It is a double orange. It kind of reminds me of a creamsicle, the color. And then it has a pink flush in the center. They're beautiful. It's a double blooming. It was just in solid bloom probably about a week ago. And then now it's in the rest area, but I'm seeing that I'm starting to get some more flowers bloom. So it should be blooming soon. But oh my gosh, this is another one that grows real tall. So I'm really excited to see what it does in the garden since I actually got these in fairly early. Another riot red honeysuckle. A lot of the stuff in my garden is butterfly and hummingbird oriented, honeybee oriented. I want things that will bloom and smell good and just be real pretty out here. I want to eventually get honeybees and stick them back in this corner. But I need to have an established garden that I can count on that will provide food for the honeybees so they don't swarm and leave. This is a catnip. It looks rough. It had gotten way too big in the pot, and I just got it out to the garden. And then I've got 2 tomatoes out here as well. There'll be more tomatoes brought out here. I need to get stakes to stake them up. I planted like 150 tomato plants. They're not all going to fit in my vegetable garden. So I'm bringing out some fun varieties out here. And I'm going to spread them throughout the flower garden. Like I said, it's going to be more of a potager style garden this year. Just until I can get enough flowers growing in here to do something different. And this is Star of Jasmine. It smells amazing. I'm excited to see what it'll do on this trellis. And then once again, I'm not sure if it died from the freeze or if it'll come back. Some of this stuff usually don't start seeing leaves on until the middle of April. It always comes back from the ground, but it is a huge bougainvillea. It usually within a season will grow from the ground to over the top of my trellis. So I don't know if it'll come back. I think the freeze did it in, but we'll see. I've had many things shock me. I wasn't expecting the grape to have survived the freeze, and it is doing amazing this year. This is year number 3 for my grape. It does require 2 grapes in order to produce fruit. So I need to get another grapevine to plant out here with it. I had to, one was planted over there where those are planted. But unfortunately, it had died. So this is pretty much what week 2 looks like in April of my flower garden, and in the process to rebuild it and bring it back, especially after the drought last year. I pretty much lost everything that was in this garden except for a couple of bushes. So I'm excited to see how this transforms. By middle summer, this thing will be full with zinnias. I love zinnias, dahlias that I'm growing from seed. I will have vegetables in here, vines. I'll have sunflowers. I've got cosmos to plant, and I don't know if I'll plant any bachelor buttons back here this year. I did plant some in the front garden. So let me hop off of here, and I will get up front so you can see the front flower garden. All right, this is the front flower bed. This is a Fuji red apple, self-pollinating, a fig, and an apricot. And that right there is a pumpkin sandbathing in my flowers because he's a punk. I love you too, pumpkin. So I've got more salvia planted up here. And then I've got some hyacinths that are dying back, and a couple of other plants that I planted up here that I don't remember what they are. Pumpkin likes to steal my tags, and I don't remember what that was that I planted. We've got some foxglove, salvias. This is a purple floss flower that self-seeds itself in the crack of the sidewalk and into the garden. It's just starting to get some of the blooms. This thing will be as tall as I am by the end of summer. It is amazing. The flowers are beautiful. I do have quite a few weeds in here that I thought were flowers, but these are weeds right here. But this are bachelor buttons. You can see all of my tags. That's pumpkin. I got some hollyhocks planted in here. I've got some sunflower seeds that I just planted that are just starting to come up. There's one right there. There's some over there. That's a ever-bearing coral rose bush. I had to cut back big time. The freeze kind of did a number on some of my stuff. Got some bluebonnets growing in here. That's a Gaillardia lollipop. I have some irises that are coming up around my my bird bath that needs to be cleaned. I have a lot of daffodils that are coming up. I don't know if they're going to bloom. I don't know if we got enough chill hours for it to bloom, but I'm hoping. And of course, I love wildflowers. That's a chicory. What else do we have in here? That's a Shasta daisy that's right there, along with some parsley. That's a dianthus. Don't remember what that is, but I want to say it was absinthe that I planted there. But I just love the green color. It is so pretty. It's much larger than it's been in the last 2 years. Some purple salvia, and they're looking a little yellow, so I need to come out here and throw some iron tone down. This ground is real weird out here. The type of dirts that I've used to make this flower bed, it was a Beyond Peat product, and I'm not quite sure if I care for it. It doesn't hold water well. It goes right through and drains out into the yard, so I don't know. Some more salvia, bunch of bachelor buttons, so I'm excited to see them come up. I want to come out here with some zinnia seeds here shortly and get some zinnia seeds planted. This is a bee's friend, and oh my gosh, is that not pretty? I love the foliage. And then some snapdragons and bachelor buttons that are planted here. I'm getting my first snapdragon flower. Those I started off from seed. Let's see, what else? A turkey. Got wildflowers. I don't know if you can see my neighbor's yard. All of those little purple specks that you see in the yard, they'll open later today. They are, and I've got them in my yard too. They are a type of wild iris. They are beautiful. So I got them in my yard. My neighbor has a whole bunch of them. We don't mow our front yard or side yard during the spring because the wildflowers are just beautiful. The chicory, and then you can see that I've got, I don't remember the names of these. I have them written down, but I have them. I've got like pink buttercups, and it's absolutely gorgeous out here when they pop up. So, see, they're all here, and I'm not gonna not cut them down. What else do we got going on here? Pumpkin in my flower garden again because he's a punk. And then over here I got some garlic chives, lemon balm. In the back I got some 4 o'clocks, and then some safflower, and all of these are snapdragons. And this coleus is from last year. I had it in a pot, brought it down the house during the winter, and brought it back out here. This thing got massive last year, so I'm curious to see how it does. And this is Agastache. Which one is it? The Apache Sunrise. So those will have really pretty orangey pink flowers. And this is an olive tree. This will get planted in the side yard along with those trees over there. So, but these are my flower gardens. Pineapple that needs the dead trimmed on it and potted into the garden. I should get a pineapple this year off of it. It's 2 years old now. The other pots, those are just weeds. So, a lot of stuff to do, a lot of weeding. So I've been coming out in between clients and pulling weeds, and Pumpkin is pulling weeds for me right now, huh? So anyway, those are my 2 flower gardens. I'm going to try to get you a vegetable garden video for tomorrow. So thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe to continue to see what I do with my gardens. It's definitely far from perfection. It's not going to be videos of these big, elaborate, well-structured gardens. I unfortunately don't have the time or the money to go out and buy pre-started plants. Everything that is here, I'm starting from seed. I am going to go through and do some cuttings on some of these roses that I have, and see if I can start some rose bushes for myself. I don't mind taking the time and waiting for things to grow. It's going to be a slow going growing garden because I do start everything from seed, but I think in the end I will appreciate it more because it's something that I started from the ground up. Anyway, y'all have a blessed day. Please like and subscribe and continue to watch to see all of the other things that I plan on doing with my gardens. And maybe one day everything will be weeded. Probably not. Talk to you later. See you in the next video. Bye.